All right, party people, let's go. Brandon, you have the mic.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. We're excited to be here at the Shop Black Pitch Night. My name is Brandon Andrews, and our agency, Values Partnerships, has done casting for ABC Shark Tank for a number of years. I connected with Tony from Shop Black a while back and said, hey, we'd love to find ways to collaborate and partner and support some of the great entrepreneurs that are in your network. We got together and now have a group of entrepreneurs that are going to pitch their businesses. Each business will have 90 seconds. Then we'll give them some feedback. And of course, all the businesses pitching today will be considered for season 15 of ABC Shark Tank. So, with that, Tony, why don't you tell folks a little bit about Shop Black and your mission to support entrepreneurs?
Yeah, sure. So we got started in 2014, late 2014, inspired by events surrounding the shooting death of Mike Brown in Ferguson. We're seeing lots of calls for boycotts and supporting Black-owned businesses, but also a lot of questions around, well, who are the Black entrepreneurs that make this product, or who are the Black entrepreneurs that offer this type of service? And me being someone who looks at entrepreneurship as one of the fastest ways to create wealth for the Black community, I wanted to use my marketing background to figure out how to empower Black entrepreneurs. So we started answering these questions online, just basically using content to say, hey, here's a Black entrepreneur that does this, or this is who offers this product, this is who offers that service. And it just grew just based on the demand for that information, to the point where now we have an audience of almost 500,000 people across our newsletter and social media. And we're just being very, very intentional about creating this ecosystem of entrepreneurs and investors and partners who are all mission aligned. And that mission is creating wealth in Black communities and addressing the wealth gap.
Yeah, well, congrats on what you've been able to build, Tony. I know you're an entrepreneur yourself as well as an investor, and mentioned that significant inflection point a couple of years ago, the murder of George Floyd, and all of the support and all of the things that have come out of it. I'm really excited to hear about your story, and even more encouraged to know that your solution is a durable solution, because there are a lot of folks, black, white, otherwise, that made statements and commitments, etc., but they're going to do hasn't necessarily happened quite yet. But Shop Black obviously got up and running, and has been producing content as well as some other ways to support entrepreneurs over the past few years. So definitely kudos to you and your team. Tony, before we get started with the pitches, would love to hear what are your thoughts on uh, using media to build a business? Whether it's pitching a business on Shark Tank or potentially being featured on a blog, even on one of your social posts on a Shop Black. How can entrepreneurs best position themselves to use media to support their businesses, given the range of channels that are out there today?
I think media is super important when it comes to building a business. One, because if no one knows that you're out there, you can't sell anything, and then you don't really have a business at the end of the day. So I think that storytelling, especially using media for storytelling, is key, because, as they say, people don't buy products, they buy the entrepreneur. They want to know the story behind the brand, and they don't know what that is if they don't know about you, or they're just looking at a website. So they're mostly buying into your story, your background, how they relate to you, how they relate to why you started your business, and what issue or problem you're solving, and why you started out to solve that problem. So um, media is key. Media is extremely important, and we're happy to be, I guess, a channel for entrepreneurs to, I guess, get their stories out. And I love meeting entrepreneurs like yourselves and others who are doing super interesting things out there and telling those stories. So kudos to you all for what you're doing also.
Thank you.
Yeah, great stuff, Tony. Great. Great stuff. Well, now we're going to transition to hearing pitches from our entrepreneurs. We've had entrepreneurs from all over the U.S. Who are in the Shop Black network apply for an opportunity to pitch this evening. Selected a small number that are working on really, really interesting business projects, and all of them, of course, are going to get the opportunity for season 15 of Shark Tank, as well as some of the other entrepreneurs who applied online but didn't quite make it to pitch this evening. Again, each business will have 90 seconds to pitch their businesses, and then they'll get a little bit of feedback after the pitch as well. Feedback from me from a casting standpoint will kind of reflect what Shark Tank is looking for, but also I'm sure Tony may have some other more general feedback to give on the businesses. And so to start with, we'll have Black Viking, and then Femly will be the next business. So, Black Viking, are you ready to pitch your business?
Absolutely.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. So, you'll have 90 seconds. So, give us your name, the name of your business, and then you can go right into the pitch after that, and I'll start the clock.
Woo. Okay, cool. My name is Sean Taylor. I'm the owner, founder, and CEO of Black Viking Brewing. Should I go and
Yep,
start?
you can go right into the pitch.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Please excuse me. Oh, oh, oh! As I said, my name is Sean Taylor. I'm the owner, founder, and CEO of Black Viking Brewing, a Maryland-based, Black-owned but not Black-only beer brand that are the makers of the world-famous Zinga beer. I have it right here. I know you said no PowerPoint slides, but I brought some props, some liquid props. But it's Zinga beer. It's a golden ale brewed with ginger, zesty ginger, and wildflower honey, clocking in at 5.5%. I like to call it the world's most drinkable beer, and a lot of people throughout the country believe that to be true as well. I'm coming today seeking $1 million for a 20% equity stake in my company. And the problem that I'm solving, there's twofold problem. First, America has a beer problem, right? And that problem is that there are too many beers and a lot of them are stale. And what I mean by that is there is a lack of innovation. And we can tell that there's a lack of innovation because in the past 5 years, you have not seen a lot of big box beers that have really taken hold in the zeitgeist. You've seen things like RTDs, canned cocktails, and seltzers, right? Also, the second part of the problem is that the beer industry has a diversity problem. There are currently 9,500 breweries throughout the country. Only 75 of those are Black owned. So that's less than 1%. Many states, actually about 25 or 26 states, do not have a confirmed Black owned brewery. For Zinga beer, we call it the world's most drinkable beer because it is light. 80% of beer sold in the country is light beer, but it's very flavorful and innovative by implementing the ginger and the honey. And in just under 2 years, we have done collaboration beers with Troves Independent Brewing in Pennsylvania and the country's largest craft beer company, which is Boston Beer Company, Samuel Adams. We have an ongoing partnership with them as well. We also just signed a major distribution deal that will make us the largest Black-owned beer brand in the country by the end of this year. And so I think my 90 seconds is about up. That's where I'm at with it. Oh, last thing, we want to be the country's
Yep.
first nationally distributed Black-owned beer brand. Thank you.
That's great. Congratulations on what you've been able to build, and thanks for bringing the energy to the pitch. I love what you said. America has a beer problem. It's such a, like, if the way you started the pitch wasn't so exciting and didn't shake us up, given what you did at the beginning, I would say that's the way to start the pitch. America has a beer problem, but what you did was authentic. Incredible business that you've built. Would love to hear from you. You have this ask that you've made. what would you use the funding to do? Would that be for product to get that nationwide distribution deal, or are there other pieces? Do you need to expand the brewery and get equipment? What would you use the funding to do?
Absolutely. And so thank you for that kind of feedback as well. What I didn't say in the numbers is that most of the 75 Black owned beer brands are contract beer brands because I think I can't remember who brought up the wealth gap earlier, right? But as you know, brewing is a very cost intensive endeavor, right? So you have to buy a lot of big equipment. And because we have not had access to generational wealth and we can't typically go to a bank and get a loan for a brewery, we have not been able to open up breweries. So currently we brew on contract with one of Maryland's oldest brewery and one of the largest in Maryland, Oliver Brewing Company. And so the money would be spent to significantly ramp up production because with us signing a distribution deal, we're going to need to ramp up production by about 200% just even in the next 30 days or so. And so in order to fill the orders, that's the thing about beer is like, it's not like music where you can release it digitally or like a t-shirt where you can sell it online. It's a very legislated substance. So you have to go through certain channels from the production to the distribution to the retailer to the consumer. And so right now with us going all throughout the state of Maryland, we also have distributors in Pennsylvania, in New Jersey, in Texas, and North Carolina that are interested in carrying our product. We just can't meet the demand. And when these distributors ask for product, they want significant product. They don't want, a few hundred cases. They want thousands and thousands of cases and kegs. And so the main thing would be to ramp up production and then build a nice executive team as well.
Got you. Well, I have more questions, but let me pause there. Tony, anything from you?
Yeah, I'm always about the backstory. So I'm curious to know what inspired you to start the business.
Absolutely. And so I'm a educator and a writer as well. And so writers, I always joke, we have our things. So, some people smoke, some people run marathons. And for me, it was like, I would try my little whiskey or something. And I was like, I don't really like whiskey. And so my older brother back in the day, he was like, man, you should try craft beer. Like there are all these beers in the store. It's not just Miller Lite and Bud Light. There's a bunch of beers. Let's start trying some. And so we just started randomly trying beers. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the creativity, the diversity of the liquid. And I was like, let me start really looking into this. And so I started doing some research and I saw at this time, this is probably 15 years ago, there were maybe 2 or 3 Black owned breweries in the country. And I said, man, I really want to get into the ownership piece because I feel like, everybody likes beer. Like when you look at the numbers, people drink beer proportionally with their demographics. So Black people are about 13% of the country. We drink about 13% of the beer. And so I was like, let me start brewing. I started brewing, but then I realized I failed chemistry. I don't really like cooking. And so I was like, let me put my stuff on the shelf and do what I do best, which is bring energy, build community. I started going to different festivals, going to different beer tastings, different bottle shops, and just chatting people up. And then one of my former players, when I used to coach basketball, saw me because I was doing a show called the BYOB show on Facebook Live. We were getting anywhere from like 800 to 1,500 views. And one of my former players said, hey, coach, I brew beer. I'm like, all right, well, if you brew beer, bring me what you have. And he brought me a bunch of samples. We caught up. And this one beer with the ginger and the honey, I was like, I've never had a beer that tastes like this. And ginger and honey is such a familiar flavor combination that it just makes sense. And it's a nice little twist to a familiar beer. Because like I said, 80% of beer in the country that's sold is light beer. People like lighter beers, right? But this has that twist to it and it has just that little zing. And so I took it to a few people that I knew in the industry that sell a lot of beer and they were all like, this is really, really good. And so then we started a company, a few weeks later, that was in late 2020. We launched in August of 2021. And like I said, from then we've done collabs with Troves, which is the top 25 craft brewery in the country. With Samuel Adams, I just released a beer with them back in April. And now we signed this major distribution deal just last month that we're having a big kickoff event June 30th at the National Harbor.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. It's a great story.
Thank you.
Well, I want to come be in community with you.
I appreciate that. Thank you
Yeah, I
guys so
definitely want to
much.
come be in community with you at National Harbor if I can. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're going to release
Congrats.
the details next week.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Good
to cut
stuff,
you
man.
off.
I'll be on the lookout for it. And no, you're fine. I'll definitely be on the lookout for the details this week, and I'm sure it'll be a good time there in National Harbor in the DMV.
Absolutely. And we're doing it at a
All
Black
right,
owned
so
establishment.
congrats to Black Viking.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so next we will have Femly, and after Femly, we'll have Sproxy pitch. So, Femly, when you're ready, give us your name, the name of the business, and then we'll start the clock.
Sure. I'm Arion Long, and I'm the founder and CEO or Chief Estrogen Officer at Femly. So, at 26 years old, I was diagnosed with a tumor linked directly to chemicals in the personal care hygiene products that I was using. But when I went into stores and was in search of an organic and sustainable solution, I could not find one that was eco friendly and satisfied my personal requirements. And talking to other women, this was an issue that we were seeing not only in the United States, but across the world. 80% of the menstruating population does not have access to equitable and sustainable period care. So in 2021, Femly launched a first of its kind patent pending dispenser that allows users to walk up and wave hello to unlock access to organic pads and tampons from the Femly brand. What's crazy about our model is that we are now backed by legislation. 63 laws currently require free menstrual products in restrooms at schools, colleges, and more. And after a viral announcement of our dispenser led to 70 million views and 3,200 interested corporate partners, Femly is scaling with sales partnerships across colleges, hospitals, hotels, and more. We have sold our products to brands like Hyatt. We are in NFL stadiums, and we are slowly dominating each organization at a time. Currently, Femly is the only minority and women certified company in the United States that's scaling with an innovative tech-driven dispenser of this kind. The best part is we are basically getting paid to market our products. Organizations purchase our solutions and accompanying menstrual products to place them in restrooms, and we have served more than 50,000 people thus far with more than $1 million in revenue. Now that laws are in effect, we want to raise $300,000 to reimagine the future of feminine care access in public settings, and we need your help to do it. Since launching, Femly has been featured in Forbes, Good Morning America. We were funded by Beyonce, Pharrell, and our team of 6 is going to scale to add additional team members in the tune of about 10 people. The facilities management market that we fit into drives $46 billion in revenue. And there's more than $2.1 billion that we can address with capacity right now. So with that, I hope that you will think about the future of feminine care when it comes to your funding, and you will think about more than 51% of the world population that requires products like these.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Arion and Femly, and congrats on the company that you've been able to build so far. Would love to hear from you. How are you have these significant partnerships where you're getting your product into public spaces, arenas, etc. You splitting your time between working on those big national and potentially develop new products and services for your brand?
So it's been really interesting. We had no idea that the tailwinds of legislation would require products like ours. And then I think what was interesting is that the laws that surround period equity have now added another layer. For instance, the law that was recently passed in Washington, D.C. is the Period Equity for All Act. That law requires feminine products in schools with the added layer of them having to be organic, with an added layer of them having to come through a dispenser. And so when you look at the market, we're constantly innovating in this segment, but I think that our distribution and our model lends itself to scale while simultaneously supporting social impact. And I truly believe in growing with innovation to profit people and planet.
I love it. I had to say something.
Tony, anything from you?
I couldn't help myself.
Thanks, Arion.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the question that I have for you is like currently, what are the most popular locations for your dispensers? And that's currently, and where do you see it going, like, I guess, in the near to late future?
Yeah, so it was interesting to us. Because of the laws that were passed, we assumed that our target market would be school systems and like education facilities. And what we found after going viral on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn was that the organizations that really want our premium solution fall into like health and hospitality. And so one of the discoveries that I loved the most was that people shop with us for different reasons, right? Like a school may come to us because they want to support students and they want to increase their class attendance. However, a hospitality or health center is purchasing us because our inclusion helps reduce waste disposal by 60%. They're not having to throw out sheets and linens due to people's menstrual cycles. And so we believe in the beauty of diversity and segmentation. And so we have various sprints that we work with alongside organizers. And as we scale, we want to become the company that is synonymous with what used to be that same stainless steel restroom dispenser. Brands like Kimberly-Clark and Sodexo and Haspico have largely dominated this market for hundreds of years. However, due to their size, they lack the ability to innovate in a way that only a Black woman can. So we really believe that we'll continue to build out a portfolio of IP. We will end up with distribution and placement in many of these priority public restrooms at airports and hospitals and other facilities. And then we think that that will make us sexy enough for an acquisition. And that's why we want your investment. Our goal is to provide our investors a return on their funding. And now that we're backed by legislation, we have a clear path to exit.
Awesome.
Damn.
I love that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Oh, we're also
That's
in Maryland
incredible.
too, Black
Congrats
Viking.
again, Arion, and thank.
What was that
Yeah,
last
we
comment?
got to get Wes Moore on the call next time. We bring you together and tell him about these incredible Black entrepreneurs in the state of Maryland doing their thing. He should be proud of y'all.
Certainly.
So next up, we'll have Sproxy, and then we'll have Smile Nation. So Sproxy, are you ready to pitch?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Melanie Samba, and I am the founder and CEO of Sproxy. So I'll go now. For the last 20 years, I've had the privilege of working with some of the most fascinating brands on the speaking circuit. I've worked on all sides of the conferences business, and I kept running into the same problem: the inability to efficiently manage and scale my workflow and the inability to prove business impact. How many times have you been to a conference and you couldn't figure out the ROI of that event? That's where Sproxy comes in. With our software, we do peer-to-peer analysis so you can find out what your competition is doing in the market. You can pitch directly to our database of conference organizers to increase the likelihood of you getting on a stage to spread those messages that you've been sharing with us tonight. You can also pull up real-time analytics to prove business impact and collaborate across teams and departments. We use AI and machine learning so that you could discover industry trends within your market as well. The whole point is data, 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 and also making sure you grow in your market share and brand equity with using our software. So I want to share some of our traction. We are a brand new company. I just registered the company last year in January 2022. We pre-sold $113,000 worth of the software to date. We already have over 1,200 companies in our pipeline, valued at $41 million in ARR, and those are all mid-sized to large enterprises. like TikTok, PayPal, Johnson & Johnson, Walgreens. I was actually surprised by this. I thought we were going to have a smaller customer, but our profile, our Paramount pictures, and so on. We also are growing 21% month over month, and we have an award-winning product team. So the last part I want to really share with you is we have already been nominated or seen or recognized as the global head of engineering, as the global head of PR software solutions for the next 8 years. I was just about to share about my teammate, but we only had 90 seconds, so we'll skip on to that. That is the 90-second spiel about Sproxy, but I am open to answering any questions that you may have about the software. Very excited about it. And so there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for that pitch. Great job. And again, congrats on what you've been able to build over the last year and a half. And you have
Thank you.
some big enterprise clients. And, certainly, I think what you said is a lesson for every entrepreneur. Don't
Right.
sell yourself short. The big guys love what you're doing, just like an individual speaker, potentially like myself. So congrats on not only building something that's adding value, but something that's obviously adding value to big organizations and making an impact.
And
So
please have been
walk
in.
me through how this works. So a client, oh, go ahead.
I was just sharing all of our leads are inbound. So we have an annual license business model. Our user will be in-house corporate communication teams, marketing teams, business development teams for individual brands like yourselves. You will purchase a license and use the software to find out, do competitor analysis first, pitch yourself to get on the stage at the top tier conference, increasing the likelihood of you getting on the stage, and also pulling up data analytics to prove business impact. So we're integrating with different software solutions that conferences are using. We're pulling the data from our conference partners. I have 20 years experience in this, so I've been manually doing this for over 20 years using Excel spreadsheets. And so I originally developed the solution for myself because I was having an issue with scaling my business. Then I decided to productize it because everyone actually came to me and said they wanted access to the products. And so that's how that's how we grew so far.
Awesome.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. How do you, I guess, what increases the likelihood of a speaker getting on stage? Is it as simple as just using keywords that some of the conferences use, or is there something else there with the AI that you're using that allows you to position corporate speakers in a different way?
Yeah, so we're using Chat GPT and we're also using predictive analytics as well. When you first start using the software, you're tagging your corporation, your speakers with different tag words. So the high value conference opportunities appear. You'll know as much more detail that what public knowledge from our software. So we can share the demographics of the audience, what media is in the room, what companies are in the room, and details about open opportunities for keynotes or for might as well say different panel discussions or fireside chat. So you'll see what the actual opening slots are for conferences. We also have the actual conference organizer, so the decision maker on who gets you on the stage in our database. So that's how you increase the likelihood. You're no longer having to pitch or Google to try to figure that out. Most people cannot figure that out. It will take forever. We have, through our software, we're giving you the access. So you're able to pitch to the conference organizer. You'll know what's open so you can pitch correctly and pitch yourself so that you're getting a slot that's already open. And based off of the interactions with the conference organizer, it would increase your likelihood of getting on the stage. Also, the conference organizer, we're building relationships with them. So they're looking out for Sproxy speakers. Sproxy actually stands for speaker proxy. So we are a digital agent, a digital solution that's acting as an agent on your behalf.
Super
Got
interesting.
it. Tony, let me turn it over to you.
Okay. I'm going to start by telling Eves to get off his phone kindly. Thanks, sir.
Apologize.
No problem. My question was basically, so for a company like Shop Black, media company focused on, consumer goods, consumer focused tech companies, and pretty much any Black owned business doing amazing stuff. Could you give a case study or a use case on how we would use your product?
For yourself, for instance, if you want to position yourself as the authority in this space and you wanted to find out every single conference that has your targeted market or your audience, you can use our software. Let's say you want to speak at a BET or Paramount event. They actually reached out to us because they wanted us to build a portion of our software to filter out speakers. So you want to speak at that type of event, or you want to speak at an SS event, or what have you. You would use our software and do some market research to make sure that whatever you're saying on the stage, there's an actual white space for that. You can also find out what your competitors are saying, your counterparts, so that you're more strategic when you're pitching yourself to the conference organizer. You have the details about the conference through our software. Then you'll pitch, or your whomever that supports you will be pitching on your behalf. What the software does, the whole point is determining business impact, showing you what the ROI of your efforts are. Right now, companies are spending $200,000 and up. How much do you actually spend when you go to a conference? How often are you going? How much, as far as you're sending your whole team, how much does that cost? What are you getting back from it? How are you tracking back the value? When you do an actual sale or a business development deal, how are you tracking that? How is it impacting your bottom line? So that's where Sproxy cuts in. We're trying to show you the actual value, where it's not a one and done. You're not just doing it for brand recognition, but you're doing it to impact your bottom line. And that's how you'll use our software.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, congrats again on what you've been able to build, and we'll definitely be checking it out.
Okay. Thank you.
Next, we have session followed by Lick You Silly. So Smile Nation, are you ready to pitch?
Yes, sir, I am. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Dr. Herman Butler, and I am the CEO and founder of Smile Nation. Smile Nation is a doctor-led, doctor-owned clear aligner brand. And clear aligners are just small plastic aligners used to safely and gradually move your teeth to a more perfect smile. Now, I actually did some market analysis research with Baylor University in Waco, Texas. And we found that two of the major pain points in this industry are customer service, as well as the time it takes for our patients to get their aligners. The way that Smile Nation addresses those items are, we actually have a customer-centric team that operates from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. And with our exclusive manufacturer, we are able to get our patients their aligners within 1 month versus 2.5 months for the other competitors. Again, with our model, we're direct to consumer, which means that we send you the impression trays, you take the impressions at home, you send them to me, we then manufacture our aligners and send them back to you. So everything is done in the safety and the convenience of your own home. So what we're asking for is $500,000, and that would allow us to do marketing. That would also allow us to purchase more inventory as well as hire more staff. And that's pretty much it. So again, we welcome you to the nation, Smile Nation.
Hey.
Thanks, Doc.
Great stuff. Great
Thank you.
stuff. Thank you so much for here. How did you go through the process of developing the product to differentiate from maybe some of the other brands in the market, some names that might be familiar with? How did you develop something that's different?
Absolutely. Before we do that, let me take my aligners out because I'm not only the president, I'm also a client of my own product. So.
Hey.
All right. So, one of the things that we did with my team and I, we hired Baylor University. They have what's called a Baylor Research and Initiative, Baylor Research Innovative Collaborative. It's called BRIC, BRIC. And they found a couple of pain points. I just kind of discussed a couple of them today. Again, the customer service was a huge, huge piece of it. And then the second item was how long it takes for you. So typically, this product is about anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, and you spend that money, and you have to wait 2 months before you get your first aligners. Well, we cut that in half with our exclusive manufacturer, and we can get that our patients their aligners within 1 month. Yeah, so that's what we're targeting is it, and also with Baylor University with their research, we also found a under marketed population, which is of course African American men and women, but surprisingly, another population is Asian women. These people want their teeth straighter, they want their teeth whiter, and they're just not being marketed to. What I also didn't mention in my pitch is that I have an exclusive agreement with Oral-B, the Procter & Gamble's Oral-B division, where I can provide whitening, toothpaste, and other products directly from my website. No other competitor has that ability to do so.
Nice.
Well, you better come on with your exclusive. Congrats, my man. That's incredible. I've never heard of an exclusive for dental products before. It's great. It's great. Tony, let me turn it over to you.
Yeah. So my 23-year-old son needs braces. How does your product compare to braces, and what would you say is I guess the difference in demand for both? And is there like some type of disconnect when it comes to educating people on using one or the other? And would you suggest using one or the other? Are they like completely different? Are there differences?
Yeah, so again, my product is direct to consumer. So your son, what we would do is we would mail him out a home impression kit, which I have here.
Oh, can't really see it because of okay, there we go.
So it's a home impression kit. There's a tray for the bottom teeth. Let me see if I can get this in focus a little bit here. No, well, anyway, there's a tray for the bottom teeth. There's a tray for the top teeth. You take these impressions at home, you mail them to me, and then what I will do is I create a digital scan of these. From there, I will create a treatment plan. From that treatment plan, we determine how many aligners you need, and we'll mail them directly to your son or whoever else. And it comes with instructions. We also have a mobile app that's available that can track your progress from start to finish. You take photographs, get friendly reminders of when it's time to change your aligners, and you can also order products from our from our mobile app as well. Now, what differentiates me from anyone else? Nothing. And this just being honest. All of them are going to do the same thing. All of them are going to move your teeth. They're going to do it in a safe, slow, gradual time. But we are able to get those to you a lot sooner than anyone else. The quickest I've seen someone get their aligners is 6 weeks. We can get that down to 1 month. And I got my aligners, of course, within 3 weeks, but I'm the CEO, so I'll hopefully get them quicker.
You got the hookup.
So we save you a lot of time. We save you a lot of dental visits. You don't have to go to a doctor to get these aligners. Everything is done directly to your home. If you have any questions, again, we have a customer-centric team that's available 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, when I say 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., so we open at 7 a.m. Eastern time, which means that people on the West Coast, it's 4 a.m. their time. So if somebody wakes up at 4 a.m. on the West Coast, they can speak to someone. And we close at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means that someone in the East Coast has 10 o'clock. So we're actually open from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. So regardless of what part of the country you're in, you're going to speak to someone. And if you have any questions about your aligners, we can absolutely help you along the way.
Wow, that's incredible. And customer service is very, very important, especially for something as personal as your product and the service that you're providing. So great stuff, great stuff. Congratulations again. Okay, next we'll have Lick You Silly, followed by Work BNB. So, Lick You Silly, are you ready to pitch your business?
I'm ready. And we always have to say, lick your silly pet products. So my name is
Lick Your
Barbara
Silly Pet product.
What
You
was
say
that?
the whole thing.
What was that? I didn't hear it. What'd you say?
He's saying that we have to make sure we say the whole name.
You got to say the whole name. Yeah, I had problems with Instagram, so I had to add pet products. So, so my name is Barbara Clarke-Ruiz, and I am the CEO and founder of Lick Your Silly Pet Products. There's our products.
All right.
So here's my pitch. Did you guys know that the pet industry is an $800 billion business and only 4% of it is by Black-owned founders, Black-owned businesses? That's insane to me. So again, my name is Barbara Clarke-Ruiz. I'm CEO and founder of Lick You Silly Pet Products, and our products are all natural, no preservatives, made right here in the USA. So I created this brand 3 years ago as a side hustle because my dogs could not eat the dog treats that were in the store. And I started to bake them, and I just realized with my schedule, it just wasn't sustainable. So I started to do a lot of research, and I've grown this company as a side hustle into a $100,000 a year business by bootstrapping it, utilizing some of the best resources when it comes to dog treats and social media. So I'm asking for $300,000 for 10% of equity in my company. And Lick Your Silly is in the top 2% of dog treats on Amazon. We were the pet amenity for 8 Kimpton hotels, and we were voted best dog treat in Cosmo. So what I'd like to use the money for is to buy more products, move into a warehouse, and just utilize social media and a solid marketing team to be able to push this product out there. Because what I know for sure is I'm a pet owner, and I've been a pet owner for many years. People love their dogs, and they will spend money on their dogs, and lots of it. So that's Lick Your Silly Pet Products. Happy to answer any questions.
Facts.
Great.
Do we have any pet parents in the audience right now?
Well, you have to tell us.
Discounts for everyone.
There you go.
You have to tell us what kind of dog you have. What kind of pet do you have?
Oh, well, now my trusty girl is here next to me as always. This is Luna. And she was a COVID dog.
Hey, Luna.
I got her when I went to drop off my dog treats to one of my suppliers, and she's a pet boutique. And I met Luna, and I'm like, "You're going home with me." So there you have it. And she rules the roost, and she gets whatever she wants. And I cook her dog food because, again, it's really tough trying to find like wholesome dog food and dog treats on the market. So we had to create it. So in addition to what I like to do with this dog treat brand is you can see the packaging, right? So I wanted to be able to create packaging that's going to stand out on the market when it's on the shelf. And there are some people who buy wine just because it's a pretty label. That's me, not a big drinker. You got a pretty label. I feel like that's where the love is. So I put a lot of time and energy and effort into creating the packaging for this product. My daughter actually created that dog. And it was really important for me to be able to find really high quality product to put in it. So the product that's in this bag is a thicker cut than like your average freeze dried beef liver, and the main part of the animal gets sold to stores like Wegmans and Whole Foods. So like if you buy a steak from, say, Shop and Stop, it's a very different taste when you buy that steak from Whole Foods, right? So this is a premium product here. So we have beef liver, chicken liver. I have our Nutter Doodles. It was our Nutter Doodles that was voted best dog treat in Cosmo magazine. And this is the kit that I put together for the Kimpton Hotel. And it actually has a book that kind of talks about the experience of my dog, like in the hotel. And funny enough, Venus Williams' dog wrote the foreword in the book. This is Harry. So
That's cool.
I'm also an activewear design consultant, and I helped Venus Williams reboot her brand 11 by Venus. So I worked with a lot of global brands, and I took all of that experience and I bought it into this dog treat brand. And people love it. They were like, Barb, what is this crack? I'm like, I know, it's good, right? And my dog is sitting out here looking at me like, Mom, give me something. So that's Lick You Silly.
Lick You Silly.
Let us find out you have a whole doggy empire over there.
Right.
Yes, I have lots of products. I like to be creative and use my design background when I create products. So this is a new product that I'm launching, and this is a lick mat. And if you have a dog, for those of you who have a dog, you know that dogs like to for anxiety. You know, they have mats you can put peanut butter on and yogurt on and things like that. So this is my lick mat that I'm launching. So I like to use my design background and create just, you know, really unique products that you don't typically see in the dog space. You know, because I really feel like that is what sets me apart. And my goal is to introduce animated shorts. I already have some animated shorts on my YouTube channel, and I'd like to be able to get the right distribution for my products and partnerships. That's really critical for me.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. Well, Tony, any questions?
Yeah, I was curious to know what type of, I guess, common misconceptions are there about dog nutrition? Because, you know, people feed their dogs. Well, some people feed their dogs anything, and there are some people who are very, you know, conscientious about what they feed their dogs. So, what are some misconceptions out there about what are good for dogs and what's a no-no?
Well, I mean, I think it varies. Like, there's just certain things that you can't give a dog. Like, Luna, stop. You can't give a dog, you know, garlic and grapes. Like, there's just certain things you just can't give a dog, right? But you know, people who are not in the dog space to the degree that I am, they're counting on some of these companies that create their dog food and treats to be, you know, transparent. You know, there has been, certainly since I created this brand, there has been more people who want their dogs to have human grade products. And because we realize that human grade products are going to allow your dog to live, you know, a very healthy life. You're not going to be, you know, making a lot of vet visits, and your dog is going to live longer. You know, my dog that I just put down, he lived 18 years. So there's something to be said about, you know, preparing, you know, healthy nutritional food for your dogs and, you know, making sure that you get adequate exercise. I mean, honestly, it's the same thing that we need to do to live a long life with, to live long and just be healthy. Same concept.
Thank you. Well said.
Yeah, thank you so much, Barbara. And thanks to Luna for being the inspiration.
They said, thanks, Loon Bears.
Okay, now for okay, so now for our final pitch of the evening, we have Work B&B. Work B&B, are you ready?
Ooh, y'all better buckle up.
Everybody get on your phone right now.
All right. Here we go. My name is Yves Perez. I'm the CEO of Work B&B, and I believe traveling workers matter. In 2019, my mom asked me to move to Reno to help grow her vacation rental business, and I quickly discovered the majority of her bookings were workforce related. I then changed the vernacular used from vacation rentals to workforce rentals, and within a year, her venture became the largest short-term rental operation in Reno. And that's when I knew we had discovered an overlooked niche. Traveling workers make up the fabric of American society. And when employers cannot find safe and decent housing for these workers, the alternative is living in hotels and motels for months and you don't get a sense of feeling valued with experiences like this. Woo! We built WorkBnB to build the best workforce booking experience in the world. The news of our 3-app system has generated us over 17 interviews, over 1,500 beta waitlist clients, and we're the first TechStars company to be selected by the NFL to be a supplier for the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. That is going to generate us our first $2 million in revenue. Very exciting about that. We are at a post revenue phase. We have been working through a limited release with enterprise clients, and we're currently raising $3 million at our pre-seed round so that we can continue to grow and help change the lives of millions who travel for work. Thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
That's great stuff.
Thank you.
I guess we should first be thanking Mom for asking for your help, because that was the inspiration for the business.
That was it. You know, I just went to go help. I had no idea what I was getting into, but all of a sudden, boom.
Fantastic. So my first question is,
Incredible.
so you said you have 1,700, a wait list
So-
of 1,700?
1,500 companies on a beta wait list. Yes, sir.
And
really media was what helped us with that. I mean, we were getting articles on us because the government passed a $1.3 trillion Infrastructure Investment Act at the time that we had started the company. And basically these large construction firms started to read about us, and they just started signing up like crazy.
That was actually, that's the answer to part of my question, was like, what industry are you seeing the most demand for what you're offering?
Yeah, construction, corporate relocation, medical travel, and also engineers.
Love that.
Awesome. And one more question for Brandon. What do you plan on using the $3 million for?
We're finishing building out the back end because it's a 3-app system. We have the travel app for the enterprises because we're a B2B booking platform. But instead of building like what's called a super app, which is complicated and it crashes a lot, we are taking the Uber route, which is a 3-app system. So there will be an app for property owners and then an app for property managers, because what we are running into is that there are a lot of long-term rental property owners that want to list their properties, but they're not used to hosting people. So they need managers to manage those properties. And so we have a 3-app system.
Thank you. Brandon?
Got you. Yeah, thanks, Tony. As you are building these big partnerships, how will you have enough capacity to fill those? Will you be able to onboard? Are you on a path to be able to onboard enough new users into the marketplace to fill all of those slots that are going to be needed for some of these big events?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's great about that particular question is, you know, our little innovation. Most B2B companies, they do like free demos and all kinds of things which require SDRs and this whole big staff. And booking is less complicated. You can actually have a self-onboarding process like we have. So basically, it cuts down our need for like huge sales org. And then with the particular property owners that are onboarding, they have their own self-onboarding process. So with the demand that we've been seeing, we're doing something called alpha testing, where you're just making sure that the product works very smoothly, because in B2B, you don't get a second chance if they don't like the user journey itself. And with our current enterprise clients, you know, this is what I love about the process is it's not B2B to C. We don't need the end user's input. The businesses themselves have travel managers that pretty much manage large travel crews, and they input all the information, and then the employee themselves, they just get their travel assignment. So that speeds up the entire process. And with the NFL, the reason why they chose us was because temporary housing was one of their biggest problems. Anytime the Super Bowl goes to any city, they have huge event production crews, film production crews, and they need housing. But it's not just housing at scale, it's also that it's a fast, efficient system. It works.
Awesome.
And that's
I
what
love
matters
that.
at the end of the day, that it works.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
Brandon.
and again, I'm super proud that we're the first Techstars company out of 3,000 companies to be the first to be accepted by the NFL as a supplier. So that was a big accomplishment.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I was going to say, I love that y'all are connecting in the chat. So this is all about also like building community. So I love the fact that y'all getting to know each other, exchanging information. That's what it's all about. So please keep it going. Everyone exchange information, whether it's LinkedIn, social media, connect with each other, see what partnerships can evolve from there. You know, that's what we are about over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, what did you think of the pitches this evening?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed, and I'm also proud to actually have connected with folks such as yourselves. I'm always impressed and inspired. That's part of the reason why I started this company, to meet and hear from people like yourselves who are innovative and creative, ambitious, and are just going after their goals and solving problems. So I just want to thank you all for doing what you're doing, and I wish you all nothing but, you know, success. If I had $1 million for each of you, you'd get it tonight. But without that, we'll get there at some point. But thanks again for showing up tonight. Thanks again for sharing your ideas, you know, talking about your babies, you know, which they are, and wish you all nothing but success.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to meet all of y'all, man. Big blessings to everybody on here.
Yeah.
Yes. Same to you.
That was amazing. That's awesome stuff. Good stuff, guys.
Yeah.
And as we close out, I have to say for Shark Tank, all of you, of course, will be reviewed for season 15. The first business to ever pitch on the show and get a deal was a Black-owned business, Mr. Todd's Pie Factory, back on season 1, actually the pilot episode of Shark Tank. Check it out if you've never seen the pitch. But there's an incredible legacy of Black entrepreneurs showing up in the U.S., but showing up on the show as well, and looking forward to continuing that potentially with some of you who pitched this evening. Really excited to see all of your businesses grow. Consider me a resource, and definitely have a great rest of the day. We'll be in touch soon.
All right.
Thank you again. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.